Good evening, Nithya.
Areva, nice haircut. You got your full money's worth in that haircut. Good. Pinky और भावना का बड़ा stamina है. They're coming for round 2. Not bad.
It's a football night game for everybody, so everybody's watching something, so nobody's disturbing me or anything, so I can enjoy both sessions.
Okay, good. Come.
And also for next 2 weeks, right? Once the course finishes, we don't have this opportunity.
Is it only 2 weeks left?
No, 4 weeks, right? October end, right? Yeah.
I thought we'll go for an extra month or something because I missed many sessions, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So one thing I like to do, and I want to encourage all of you to try, is anytime you get into anything, like for example, this meeting, or even the other meetings you have, some of you have meetings with people either online or offline. Then before you jump into what you're doing, to take a moment to feel into the group energy. I know it's kind of a hard thing to describe, but you just feel into the group energy. What is it like? And maybe you're just imagining it. Maybe it's just your own idea. It's not real, but do it anyway. Have a sense of feeling into the group energy. What is it like to be with this group right now, whether it's online or offline? So try that. So this is like we are feeling into the energy of our togetherness. We're feeling into the energy of our connection, or maybe even disconnection. Sometimes it's a very tense situation, and you can feel the tension in the room. It's important to feel into it. There's a certain intelligence there. I had this few years back, this lady told me she had been doing volunteer work in a village during her PhD in water management. And in the process of studying this village, she came to know of how much inequality, corruption there is in how water is managed in that village. And she had begun raising her voice around that, what is going on here? And so she ruffled some feathers of people who were very influential, powerful in that village. And they convinced a young man to stab her. They convinced a young man to stab her, kill her. And somehow, because she was doing good work, so somehow somebody informed her, you better be careful. This guy has been told to stab you, to kill you. Now, can you believe the audacity of this woman? Instead of running away from there, she confronts him in the middle of the village. And she said, I don't know what came over me, but I was not at all afraid for my life. And I confronted him in the middle of the village. And I said, you want to kill me? You want to stab me? But do you know what work I'm doing? Do you know why I'm here? I don't have to be here. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for all of you, the poor people of this village. And because she had such audacity to speak the truth, and it was coming from a place of deep love and compassion, that person actually realized that he was doing the wrong thing and he asked for her forgiveness. So I found that a tremendous example of she was able to tune into the intelligence of that moment and do something that even she was kind of like, I'm not normally so brave, but somehow I was able to do that. And so what I'm trying to say is that there's a certain intelligence which is beyond you, which you will tap into when you do something like I just invited you to do. Tap into the collective intelligence, the collective energy. Otherwise, we tend to remain in a little bubble of who we think we are and what we think we can and can't do. So in the last session, we talked about three things: the activity of everything, the activity of nothing, and the activity of grace. So I'll quickly guide you through these three things, then we'll see where it goes from there. So the activity of everything. So say it like this: what if I am the activity of everything? The activity of everything. Normally we think I am the activity of my hands and legs and thoughts, maybe mouth. But what if you're the activity of everything? So from the subatomic particles to cellular activity, to the activity all around you and the activity of the galaxies and the stars. What if you're all of that? What if you're more than you imagine? So just play with that thought. What if I am the activity of everything? It takes the whole universe to produce a single grain of rice. It takes the whole universe to create a single grain of rice. It's a dynamic balance. So in that sense, if it takes the whole universe to create a single grain of rice, then it is true to say that right now, it takes the whole universe for me to say what I'm saying. I'm speaking on behalf of the universe. I'm speaking to the universe on behalf of the universe. I am the activity of everything. I'm the activity of everything. Everything known and everything unknown. Everything seen and everything unseen. Everything heard and everything unheard. Everything learned and everything unlearned. I'm the activity of everything. And something in you will definitely shift when you think like this. This is a different way of thinking. So I connect to the energy of the room. I connect to the energy of the group. I connect to the energy of our togetherness. And I allow the everythingness, the togetherness, to act on itself. In that sense, I'm allowing pure intelligence to work. And I'd really love for you, of course, we're just learning this now, but I'd love you to experiment with this in different situations, in your family situations, in your business situations. Try it. Try stepping out of your you-ness and stepping into the field of the Venus. What if I'm the activity of everything? What if you are everything that moves at any level? What if you are the dance? And similarly, what if you are, or you'll say it to yourself, what if I am the activity of nothing? I am less than I imagine. The activity of nothing. I come from nothing. I return to nothing. The sum total of everything I do amounts to nothing. Entire universes collapse into nothing. It's dreamlike. The dreams I have at night seem so vivid, so real. And yet, when I wake up, it's nothing. What happened when I was 10 years old seemed so real, so vivid. But from this perspective, it's almost like nothing. It's like a dream. When I'm in an emotionally activated state, it seems so real, so tangible. I'm upset. I'm afraid. But when it's over, it's like nothing. So what if I am the activity of nothing? What if I am everything that does not move, does not shift, does not change, does not become, does not evolve, does not grow? Nothing is harder to understand because there's nothing to really latch onto, hold on to. It's no thing. Not only is it a no physical thing, it's a no mental thing. Must have taken a great leap of intuition for the person who came up with the idea of zero. Great leap of intuition. Wow, zero. Nothing. Shunya. It's quite paradoxical that I get many messages from people, even some people I hardly know or I've never met, telling me how much I've changed their life, when I don't feel I'm trying to change anyone's life. So this is very strange. I have a sense I'm not doing anything, and yet something is happening. And I also know that if I have a strong desire to change lives, I'll probably be less successful at changing any life. So it's very strange. This is the opposite of what you'll expect. So if you're trying to make something out of your life, you'll be disappointed again and again. But if you see your life as the activity of nothing, your life is immaculately, perfectly complete at every moment. So this is an example of a paradox, the opposite of what you expect. It shouldn't be like this, but it is like this. You see yourself as the activity of nothing and the activity of everything. And they both go together. You are the movement, and you are also what's not moving. It's not even there. So when you enter a space to feel the togetherness, feel the everythingness, when you enter a meeting, when you come with a group, then what is it like? What is the energy of our togetherness? What is our collective consciousness here? Tap into that, tune into that. And also, what's it like to be nothing, no one? What's it like to have no agenda? Or to have no attachment to your agenda, even if you have an agenda? This is the other very powerful thing. So I'll give you a more practical example right now. As I'm sharing this with all of you, I'm noticing several people who joined the 5 a.m. call have also joined the 7 a.m. call. So this brings up the thought that, oh, that means they're benefiting. That means they're liking it. That means they're enjoying it. That means it's helping them. That means what I'm doing is helping them. They like it. They approve of it. They've come back again for another long session. And then that creates a certain feeling, a pleasant feeling. But I had to be relatively empty in order to see that entire process. See, that could have happened completely without knowing. It would have happened, and I would not even notice how it's adding a layer to my sense of self. I am someone who offers good sessions. You see? So I needed to catch that. And it's just innocent. It's very quick. So the activity of everything, people are joining or leaving, coming or not coming. Then there's a layer of meaning added to it. Then there's an identity which is either reinforced or diminished because of it. And it leads to a pleasant or unpleasant feeling. And then you want to do that again or less. From a place of I am the activity of nothing, I am the activity of everything. One can see all of this going on without getting too stuck on any of those elements. And people like it or they don't. They benefit or they don't. They come or they don't. I do a good job or an average job or a hopeless job. It feels pleasant or not. Can you catch the movement of all of that within you? I'm the activity of everything. I'm the activity of nothing. And we add a third one. I'm the activity of grace. What is grace? It's adding a bit of warmth to this. Otherwise, it's very stone cold, everything, nothing. But grace adds an element of warmth to all of this. It's got a sense of humor. It's got some benevolence. It's got some goodness, gentleness. Gandhiji was asked, what's the biggest danger to India after independence? He had a very interesting answer. The biggest danger to India after independence is heartless intellectuals. Heartless intellectuals. People who are very intelligent, but they miss the heart. So when you say, and the activity of grace, you bring a little bit of heart to all of this. You bring us a little bit of gentleness to all of this. If you have to assume something about the universe, you can just as well assume it's a benevolent universe. I also feel like adding, what if you are the activity of innocence? It's actually quite innocent. The way you are, the things you do. It's quite innocent. Even if you think you're being very cunning or clever or shrewd, that's also actually quite innocent. It's like a 5-year-old planning, how can I get that candy? How can I get that toy out of my mother? It's very, at one level, very cute. 5-year-old trying to get something. You can't be too upset with that 5-year-old beyond a point. So in the same way, we are also, no matter how cunning or shrewd or manipulative we are, actually we are also quite innocent in our own way. We're gullible, we're innocent. And the activity of innocence. It'll be hard to be very judgmental of yourself if you see yourself at the activity of innocence. I'm fundamentally quite innocent. It's all quite innocent. I came across this philosophy recently that says that in our innocence, we found our way into this universe and we forgot who we are. And we got trapped into a matrix, all in our innocence. And in a way, what's going to get you out is also innocence. What got you in with innocence, what will get you out is also innocence. With pretending to know a lot, oh, I know what karma is, I know what spirituality is, I know what enlightenment is. This conceit is going to keep you trapped. So it requires another kind of innocence to say, do I really know anything? Do I really know anything? And now we can also find our way out. What brought you here will take you home. So what if you are the energy of everything, the intelligence of everything, the activity of everything, the activity of nothing, the activity of grace, the activity of innocence? everything, nothing, grace and innocence. Also, at a fundamental level, you are the activity of allowing. You allow everything to be as it is. You allow everything to happen. You even allow your resistance to what is happening to be there. You are the activity of allowing. You allow thoughts. You allow feelings. You allow words and actions. You allow all events, locally and internationally, globally, cosmically. You allow inner contradiction, inner coherence. You are the activity of allowing. You are the intelligence of allowing. And this allowing is so vast that even the desire to control is allowed. That's how vast it is. Even the desire to resist is allowed. So notice each one of these has a certain flavor. So just go through the 5 flavors again. What is the flavor of activity of everything? I am the activity of everything. What is the flavor of I am the activity of nothing? No thing. What is the flavor of I am the activity of grace? What is the flavor of I am the activity of innocence? What is the flavor of I am the activity of allowing? And what's the flavor of you, being a person, being a personality? What's that flavor like? You being you. That also has a flavor, the taste. And hopefully you're getting a sense that this is only one room of a mansion. You don't have to be in this room all the time. Maybe you habitually stay in this room all the time, but you don't have to be in this room all the time. There are other rooms available. There's a room called everything. There's a room called nothing. There's a room called grace. There's a room called innocence. There's a room called allowing. And there might be many other rooms. And the room called you or I is only one of the many rooms. It's not the only vantage point available. It's just a habit of being on this particular vantage point, this particular frequency. So inviting a beautiful integration of all of these. You are simultaneously everything, nothing, grace, innocence, allowing, and what you call you, as somebody as well, all together. They all have their place, and they all contribute in their own way. And they all bring a certain intelligence, a certain fullness into your life. Every time you are with a group, getting into an activity, see if you can remember to tune into the everythingness, the nothingness, the grace, the innocence, and the allowing. Or any one of those. In a way, you're tapping into the field. You're tapping into a certain vibrancy, liveliness. You'll find that too much of pulling and pushing isn't required. Things don't have to be done or given, they emerge. Everything emerges from nothing. Everything returns to nothing. Or like Eleanor Roosevelt said, I fill what's empty, I empty what's full. I fill what's empty, I empty what's full, and I scratch where it itches. And you will learn to love your step forwards as well as love your setbacks. Love them both. Love what appears to be a step forward. Celebrate it. Love what appears to be a setback. Reflect on it. There's something there. Important adjustment needs to be made. Beautiful. Well done. If you want to take a few deep breaths. Anyone wants to say something, you can. Let's check with activity of no question. Let's check with sadhana. What is it like, sadhana, to go through these 5 activities?
I personally relate to all of them. Activity of everything. Today was an insight into what something you perhaps already know, but you don't connect to it. So, like, activity of everything for me is, it was very simple to understand, because, even the world we've created today, or the world that is today, it is an activity of everything. Like, if there were 100 people in the world, and 80 thought this way and 20 didn't think this way, we would be that 80 mostly. So you do all our thoughts coming together. And when we say Kal Yug hai, this and all that, we've created it. We create it all the time. So we are into activity of everything. And when it comes to a group, it's really fun, because when I connected to this group, the first thing that I used to think was, we're all seekers, and different age groups, different backgrounds. And it's almost beautiful to come together, and it's almost like, okay, everybody is seeking, and it's so beautiful, because if you come to a place where you're seeking, it's quite nice. It's great. It's great fun. It's great fun to be able to relate to people you don't even know, who are also seeking. So for me, that activity of everything just makes sense to me. I don't know whether I've been able to express myself.
Yeah.
An activity of nothing is, for me, is, yes, as individuals, we are nothing. In the whole spectrum, if you get back to yourself, really, we're a dot in the ocean. That also, for me, is very easy to relate to. Activity of grace, I could relate to what you said about bringing warmth. And activity of allowing is something it really sorted me for today, because we don't allow, for me, very often I find I don't allow that grace. I don't allow that happiness. And I'll give you an example. For example, I have to travel to the US next week, and I'm all into planning and scheming, and it's going to be I'm going to meet my children, I'm going to meet my grandchildren, and all that fun is gone. I'm so busy planning, scheming, becoming such a control freak, that before I know it, I'll be back, and that fun would have gone, because I'm just so stressed about the travel and the organization of it. So yes, we have to allow happiness into our lives. We have to allow that grace, and and so I totally relate to that activity of allowing too. And activity for innocence also, very often I tell myself, if as kids, as children, as babies, we were so innocent. We were so full of love, so full of acceptance, and something rubbed on as we grew up. And but fundamentally, we must be very innocent somewhere down there. So I relate to all of that.
Very sweet. Thank you. Beautiful reflection. Thank you. So even your controlling and planning and stress around the trip, it's also very innocent. You allow that also. This is sadhana doing a camera thing. Looks like I'll be in the US myself, November, December. Let's see. figuring out the details. Bhavna, make it through the hurricane so we can meet you. Big hurricane happening in Florida. Is the big tree near your house still standing or it fell down?
So actually, since my house is a corner house, but thankfully there is a big tree. So because of that, I think my house got saved. The branches of some limbs of the trees have fallen, and it did fall in my backyard and created a big mess. But the other, like after 3-4 houses, there is another corner house, and they don't have any house next doors. So their roof, like, you know, they lost some shingles from their roof, and there was more damage to their
Because then
house.
there's
So
nothing to stop the wind, is what you're saying, because then there's nothing near.
yes, yeah, if there is nothing near to it, then you are facing the big blows because the winds were they were going this way. Yeah, so that was activity. So we did the activity of grace and blessing to our big, beautiful tree.
There's so many, when you buy a
sadly,
house.
in Fort Myers.
Yeah, go ahead. Fort Myers, go ahead.
I said, but sadly in Fort Myers, I checked on many of my friends because I used to live in Fort Myers, and then and most of them, they have the house next to the ocean and all that, so it got flooded. I checked on Madhu. Actually, she's in India, so I don't know how's Madhu doing, or how's Madhu's house, but other, like, I did check a couple of them, and their community is flooded. They don't have power, they don't have electricity, and they cannot even come to Sarasota. I invited them. So yeah, it's pretty sad over there right now. So things get better over there. Yeah. That's the problem with hurricane. You never know where it's going to land. Like we thought it's all coming to Sarasota. Like we were fully prepared that, okay, this time it will hit Sarasota. And it did actually. Like, I think we were like, our communities has newly built homes and it has better windows and better structure. So we were fine. But there, I think that 90%, 80 to 90% people are without power right now.
Oops.
And then thankfully no flooding. Yeah, but yeah, no power. So 30 miles south, there was flooding and much damage and all that. Yeah. So you never know what we are stepping in every year. Yeah.
Florida has no tax, it has hurricane tax. Hurricane will suddenly come
सब
and
जगह कुछ ना कुछ है.
कुछ ना कुछ होता है.
हाँ, लेकिन the thing is, yeah, कुछ ना कुछ होता है. Oklahoma and like we were in Illinois, वहाँ tornado season, right? Snowstorms in north also. That's the all like impermanence तो देखनी ही पड़ेगी. Like there is no way out. You have to witness that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the day I was complaining that I didn't get a chance to declutter my house. Now I said, okay, yeah, it's time to declutter my house now because hurricane season is there. Yeah. I'm so happy that you're coming to US, so that's good to know. Yeah, definitely we will make it through hurricane season this year.
I have a board game called Rising, Atlantis Rising. So it's about this lost civilization of Atlantis.
Oh, yeah.
And Atlantis was supposed to be a very advanced civilization, which got flooded. And partly it was their own, apparently their own mischief with technology and things. Anyway, so this civilization, this board game, the water levels keep rising and the island is getting more and more submerged. And you have to create a portal. You have to use all your power to create a portal by which all the surviving people can escape into a different dimension. So the crisis keeps increasing. The water levels keep rising. And before the end of the game, if you can create that portal, then you're safe. Otherwise, it's adios amigos. Bye-bye. So in a way, life is like that, you know. The crisis keeps coming and coming. And can you create a little refuge for yourself where you cannot drown? And in a way, what we've talked about today is a bit of a hint towards that. As you see yourself as the activity of everything, the activity of nothing, the activity of grace, the activity of innocence, the activity of allowing, then storms will come in everyone's life, but they're the kind of refuge which is there. The Buddha gives a poetic image of this person who is sitting high on a mountain and below the floods have come. And so entire homes have been washed away, entire cities have been washed away. And this person is sitting high on the mountain, so they're not touched by the flood. So they have compassion for everyone down there, but in a way they're high above the flood. So the Buddha says you have to create this refuge for yourself. Make a refuge for yourself that no storm can overwhelm. And even in the Buddha's time, there was someone who talked about, if you have a home made of sticks and leaves, it's very vulnerable to the weather. When a strong storm comes, it's going to get shaken up. But if you have a more solid home made of a, solid, whatever, structure, then it's got a strong roof, then you're more secure in that home when these kind of storms come. So Buddha uses that analogy and says, can you make a strong home like that? Is your home right now made of, by the home he means your mind. Is your mind sticks and leaves? When the storm comes, is everything going to fall apart? Or have you made a stronger foundation for yourself? So when the storm comes, you can weather the storm. Like Bhavana's home in Sarasota.
Yeah, and working on my own home right in the mind also. But it was so funny when I was watching the storm this morning, and then I was thinking about all the weathermen people who report, and then they, like, it seems like they're flying away. I said, okay, I want to get that kind of feeling also. So I was holding my pillar outside and then feeling the strong winds passing by. I don't think it was that strong, but it looked really, really strong winds to me. But I think if I was not holding pillar, I should have been fine. But I just wanted to feel that, like, how does it feel? How my trees are, going through that. Like, like I just got papaya tree from one of my friend. It was giving us 6 papayas. And then I was watching that papaya tree, like, it was bending, and before, to save itself, it had to give away its fruits. Like, all these big fruits were hanging on that tree. I said, okay, to save the tree itself first, like, he's letting go of the big fruits first, and then the tree was letting go of one branch, and then second branch, and then the tree is still there. Like, how I was just learning to survive, you have to let go of the things also, right? Yeah, it's not like I cannot be attached to my fruits and branches and all that. No, it's sometimes you have to let go to survive. So it was beautiful. Yeah.
That's fascinating. I'm reminded of the song, Amazing Grace, and all activities I feel come under activity of grace, as to feel everything, nothing allowing it. Do you know this history of that song? Amazing Grace is a song that came from this captain of a ship. He used to transport slaves. You know the story? He used to transport slaves from Africa to, I think, the UK, and then to US, whatever. He used to transport slaves, basically. And one time there was a big storm, and the entire ship was rocking, and the slaves are all below the deck. They're all kept packed together. It's very unpleasant for them. They have to travel in a very uncomfortable situation for weeks or maybe months. But while the storm is going, and he thinks he's going to die, he thinks the ship is going to sink. It's a huge storm. But from below the deck, these Africans begin singing. And that's the tune for Amazing Grace. The tune is the tune of their African song. And he doesn't know what they're singing, but he adds words to it. And these words become the song, Amazing Grace. And since we're talking about it, I think we should listen to it. Let's find it on YouTube. And so basically he says he says that if I survive this storm, he basically makes a promise to God. If I survive the storm, I will stop doing this immoral thing I'm doing. And I will lobby and I will make an effort to stop this. And he actually keeps his promise. He survives the storm and he keeps his promise. And the story is that he goes on from being himself part of the slave trade to making every effort to stop the slave trade. And he has a change of heart during that storm on that ship. Let's find the song on YouTube. There's so many versions. Let's see. Let's hope we find a good version.
how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to see God's praise than when we first begun. Was blind, but now I see.
Shriram ran away, Chitra, during the song.
He just got up and went.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining, and play with these different activities. Play with the activity of everything, activity of nothing, activity of grace, activity of innocence, activity of allowing. Yeah, beautiful. Let's make a Mayurma together. Mayurma. All right. If you want to say goodbye, you can.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Chitra, Sadhana, Smita.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Ashwin, Pinky, Sandeep, Komal.
Thank you, Nithya.
Bye, Renuka. Ravi, Shabnam, Puneet.
Bye. Bye, everyone.